In this video I'm going to show you how to make a USB boot drive for Ubuntu. We're going to do it step by step. Whether you're installing Ubuntu on a new machine or just trying it out, this Bootable USB is your essential tool. The hardware of this computer is all set up and ready to go, but the new hard drive is still completely blank, so that means we've got to install an operating system on it. Now, you could be old school and use a CD or DVD disc, but today we're going to do it the more modern way by creating a USB boot drive. Today we'll be installing Ubuntu. To start, open up your browser and go to the official Ubuntu website, ubuntu.com. Once you're there, navigate to the download section. You'll be given a choice between different versions of Ubuntu to install, such as the latest LTS long-term support version, or the latest regular release. If you're new to Ubuntu, it's recommended you choose the LTS version as it offers stable support for the longest period of time. Click on the version you want and you'll be redirected to a download page. Here you'll see a few mirror links to choose from for downloading the ISO file. Simply pick one that's closest to your location to ensure the fastest download speed. There should also be a torrent option, use whichever you prefer. I'd usually use the torrent option, but for this example we'll do a direct download. The ISO file is usually around 2 GB in size, so it might take a few minutes to download depending on your internet speeds. The ISO file that we're downloading is a disk image format that contains an exact copy of the data, as would be on an optical disc such as a CD or DVD. The name ISO comes from the international body that sets the standards for this file type. Essentially, an ISO file is a snapshot of a disk, which includes the file system structure and the actual data. It's often used for distributing software, operating system installations, or other large files that need to be copied onto physical disks or mounted directly into a computer. On the other hand, DMG disk image files are the Mac equivalent of ISO files. Now, while ISO is commonly used on Windows and Linux environments, Mac users often encounter DMG files for mounting their virtual drives, particularly when downloading software or applications. So if you're on a Mac or installing Mac OS, you might be using one of these DMG files instead. The installer we're using, Balena Etcher, can handle both types of files. You can also use ISO or DMG files to run an OS in a virtual machine if you ever choose to do that. While the ISO is downloading, let's set up the tool we're going to use to create the bootable USB drive, Balena Etcher. It's a free, easy to use tool for flashing images to USB drives and SD cards. Open up our web browser again and go to balena.io/etcher. That's the official website for Balena Etcher. Once we're on the site, we'll see a prominent download button. Click it to download the version that matches our operating system, whether it be Windows, Mac OS or Linux. If we're using Windows, the installer will be an exe file. When the installer is downloaded, open it to begin the installation process. Follow the on-screen instructions to install Balena Etcher. It's a simple process, just click Next and accept the default settings. Once installed, open Balena Etcher from our Start menu or Applications folder. It might even open automatically. Now we've got both the ISO and the software ready, let's prepare the USB drive. We'll use this particular drive to install the operating system on our computer. Now, you want a USB drive with at least 4 GB of space available. We're going to plug it into a USB port on our computer. Try and use a USB 3.0 port if you can, because that'll be a bit faster. Make sure it's empty and we've backed up any important data on the drive, because creating this as a bootable drive will completely wipe it, it'll erase everything on it. You can check the USB drive's capacity by opening it up in File Manager, make sure it's detected and shows the correct size. Now that we have everything ready, let's open up Balena Etcher and get started. When we first launch Balena Etcher, we'll be greeted by a simple interface with 3 main buttons: Flash from File, Select Target and Flash. First thing we need to do is select the ISO file we've just downloaded. Click on the Flash from File button to browse our computer. Locate and select the ISO we downloaded earlier. It will usually be in our Downloads folder unless we've already moved it. Once we've selected the ISO file, it will appear in the main window of Etcher. Next, click on the Select Target button. Balena Etcher will show us a list of available drives. Here we'll see our USB drive listed. It might show up as something like USB drive or the model of the USB stick we've inserted. Make sure you select the correct USB drive. This is critical because selecting the wrong drive will erase all the data on that drive. Once we've selected the USB drive, click Continue. Now comes the exciting part, flashing the image. Click the Flash button to begin the process. Balena Etcher will start writing the ISO to our USB drive. This process can take a few minutes depending on our USB drive's speed and our system performance. We'll see a progress bar that will show how much is left to complete. Once the process is done, we'll see a flash complete message and Etcher will notify us that the USB drive has now been flashed with the ISO file we downloaded earlier. This means our USB drive is now ready to boot our OS. We can now safely eject the USB drive from our computer and we're all set, ready to use it for installation. And there we go, we've successfully created our bootable USB drive using Balena Etcher. We can use the same procedure to install Linux, macOS or Windows on our computer, although Windows can sometimes need a few extra steps to make things go smoothly. It's often best to use Rufus or the official Microsoft media creation tool for installing Windows. Most Linux distributions come with a helpful feature known as booting from live CD or live USB, which allows us to run the operating system directly from the USB drive without making any permanent changes to the computer's hard drive. This live session is especially useful for testing out the OS before deciding to install it, or for troubleshooting with any operating system. Additionally, using a live USB can help when trying to recover data from a system that may have failed to boot. In contrast, macOS and Windows typically require a more traditional installation process, where the operating system is permanently installed onto the computer's internal storage. Before we continue any further, if you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate if you can hit the like button. It lets YouTube know I'm doing something right. Before we continue, we're just going to have a quick word from today's video sponsor.
Covered wooden signs have a timeless charm, blending rustic warmth with protection from the elements to preserve both their beauty and message. Covered wooden signs are just the perfect addition to any park or woodland trail. Let's build more of them and bring more elevated, dry, sheltered overhangs to every corner of the world. The optimal location for a covered wooden sign is next to an open-top waste bin, especially if that bin is overflowing with sugary, sticky waste and fruit scraps. This message was brought to you by the Committee for the Advancement of Wasps and was funded by the Wasp Nest Advocacy Organization.
This is only one of many videos I've made and I'm going to make on this topic. If you've watched this far, maybe you'll want to watch some more. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be notified when I next upload a video. Thank you so much for watching today, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, then here's another one I think you should watch, and here is one that YouTube thinks you should watch. And oh look, there's a subscribe button as well. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Can't wait to see you there. We've just about got enough time for an end credits joke. What's a computer's favourite snack? Chips, of course, but make sure they don't have any bugs in them.